The days to maturity for the 40 short-term investment is given in this particular column. The data is given. These are days to maturity for 40 short-term investment. And what we are asked to construct a histogram for this particular data. We will use Microsoft Excel for this purpose. The first step we have to select the data. What I'm going to do, I'm going to bring my cursor here and Control Shift press together, and I press the down arrow. In this way, in one step, the entire data is selected. So you go to then insert, here is insert, and then go to the chart area, charts, and then here histograms. So this is the histogram we have constructed, right? Now look at these two axes. Look at this vertical axis and look at this horizontal axis. On the vertical axis, we have a frequency, and for this reason, this will be called a frequency histogram. And on the x-axis, we have a range of values. These are the classes we have. Right? Each one of these range of values is called a bin. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 bins. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to change the number of bins so that the shape look like the one we were given in the textbook. So what do we do? We select these bins, just click here, and then we right click, and then we go format axis. Here we go, format axis. Now you look at that, there are two options which we are going to play with. These are bin width and the number of bins. These are the two things we're going to adjust. Let's put the number of bins here. That number of bins, let's say I make it number of bins equal to 7. Once I do that, look at how the shape of the histogram changes, right? Look at this now. It looked like much what we have seen in our textbook, right? So that's how you create histogram by using Microsoft Excel. Now remember, there's a lot of things we can do, but that's not the motivation of this particular video. I just want to show you how we create a simple histogram with using Microsoft Excel. But I have to admit that there is a less control. We don't have a good control over how our histogram look when we use Microsoft Excel. But if we use another software which is called StatCrunch, there is a more control we have, and what that control is and how we do that. And now I create a similar histogram by using StatCrunch. So let's see what we have. I already entered these 40 short-term investments, days to maturity, and for the 40 short-term investment in this particular column. How we are going to do that? You go to the graphs, look at that, graphs, and you go to histograms. And now he is asking, please select the column for which you want to make the histogram. You say days to maturity, and it will move to this side. Don't worry about the where, and don't worry about the group by. Now he's asking type. What type of histogram you are looking for? Are you looking for a frequency histogram, or are you looking for a relative frequency histogram? At the first case, I'm going to show you how we create a frequency histogram. So make it a frequency histogram. Now look at this one. He is now giving us the option where you want your bins to start. I say, okay, start my bin at 30. And now he is asking what the bin width you want. What is the class width you want? I say, make it 10. Okay. And now I leave the rest of the option the same, and I press compute. Once I compute that, I get the histogram, and this is exactly the same histogram we have in our textbook and in our lecture notes. Look at that. On the vertical axis, we have frequency. Look at that, frequency. And on the horizontal axis, we have the lower class limits. Look, these are the lower class limits of the class of all the classes. Right? And look at the title, days to maturity. And so this histogram is called a frequency histogram. Let me change it to a relative frequency histogram. I go to the options and I click edit, and now I change the type, change it to a relative frequency. Here we go, and I press compute. Now I get the same histogram but with a relative frequency on the vertical axis. This is the relative. Look at the relative frequency on the vertical axis. The horizontal axis is unchanged, right? So this is a very good way. You have a more control. We were able to control the bins, the starting of the bins, and we were able to control the bin width. So I hope you understand. Thanks for watching. Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about easiest of the plot in statistics, that is called the dot plot. Before I tell you something about the dot plot, let's review what we have seen so far in this course. We have seen the first graph we have seen in this course is something called the pie chart. Let's recall. Number one, it was a pie chart we learned already. Secondly, we learned something called a bar graph. I hope you remember that. So far in this course we have seen these two graphs. They they're kind of connected with something called qualitative data. Okay, and then we have seen another type of a graph called histogram. And today I'm talking about something called the dot plot. And these two plots, they are known for the quantitative data. And I'm hoping you guys are aware what is the difference between a qualitative data and quantitative data, right? So this is important that you have in mind the difference, right? Now let's understand what are the basic features, what are the basic characteristics of a dot plot. Number one, it's the easiest of the plot to make. And number two, there may be more than these characteristics, but I'm just writing the most prominent one. The dot plot can identify the gaps, can identify clusters, gaps, and outliers. When I make a dot plot, when I tell you what is the dot plot, and I make take an actual example, you will really understand what I mean by these cluster, gaps, and an outlier, right? So by the way, this is the easiest of the plot to make, and when I show you an example in a minute, then you will find that that's, by the way, the easiest of the one. Okay, how we make a dot plot? Let's go to an example. So this is an example I have. The prices in dollar for 16 DVD players are mentioned here. These are the prices of 16 DVD players. And what we are asked? We are asked to construct a dot plot. What is the first step here? The first step is that we're going to draw a horizontal line. I'm going to draw a horizontal line. I try to make it as straight as possible. This is the horizontal line. First of all, you draw a horizontal line, and on this line you take some scale. While you take some scale, you make sure that this scale includes your minimum value and your maximum value. Let's identify what is my minimum value. It seems to me the minimum value is 195. It seems to me 197. Sorry, this is 197. the minimum value. And what is the maximum value? The maximum value is 224. So we have the minimum value and we have the maximum value. So when I make this scale, I will make sure it includes my minimum value and it includes my maximum value. So let's start putting some scale here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Let's start. My minimum value was 197. In order to make it an equal, like in a smooth scale, I start from 195. 6, 7, 8, 9, and this is 200. This is 205. This is 210. This is 215. This is 220, and this is 225. So I have put a scale here, and that includes my minimum value and that includes my maximum value. Now what are the next step? The next step is, in the next step we are going to plot these values on this particular axis. For every observation, I'm going to put a dot on the top of the value. This is 210. I crossed it out. 210. This is one value. I put a dot. 224. 224 is here. 208. 208. 208 is here. Let me complete all these values. 212. 212 must be here. 219, 219, 219 is here, and 219. When you get a second dot, you put another dot on the top of the previous dot, like stacking these dots. 209, we have a 209, another one. No, another one. This is this one. Okay, and then we have 212. 212 is this one. 214, 199, 214, and 199 is here. 215, 219, 215 is here. 219 is here. 197 and 197, 199. 199 is this one. Another 199, another 199, and 210 and 210. So what I have done, I have plotted all these values on this particular axis, and for every observation I have put a dot, and for this reason this plot is called the dot plot. Sometimes you wonder where the name come from. This name comes from the fact that we plot a dot for every observation. Just at the final step, we make sure that we counted every value. Just count these number of dots: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And these are 16 values. These are 16 observations, right? So it seems that we have recorded all the observation. Just at the final step, what we do, we put a title at the bottom. Just we give a proper title here. What this is indicating? These are the prices of DVD players. So these are prices of DVD players, right? So this just give a nice title so that everybody understand what this plot is about. Now you remember in the beginning I told you that I will talk about what are the gaps and what are the clusters. So you can see that most of our values are centered around somewhere here, right? Somewhere most of the values, this is called clustering, right? This is called clustering, and there is a gap here. You see there is a gap here. The no values are between 199 and up to 206. So there is a gap, and an outlier is a value which is way above or way below as compared to the rest of the data values. We will cover that in the chapter number 3. We're going to cover that. What is an outlier? We will get a technical definition for that. But for now, so it's a very easy plot to make, and very intuitive. You can understand it very quickly, and I hope you have understood. Thank you very much. Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to make a stem and a leaf plot by using StatCrunch. What I have done here, I have entered the 40 observation for the 40 short-term investment, the data you already seen in one of the example when we made the frequency distribution, right? So this is stored here, and it is in the variable one, var1. In the StatCrunch, these vars are the variable var1, variable 1, var2, variable 3, and so on and so forth. So how you make it? You go to the graphs and go to stem and leaf. You click here. He's asking, you have to select a variable, the variable var1. var1 is the variable which contain our data, so we select this one, and now he's asking to, do you want to trim the outliers? We say no, we don't want to trim, just include everything. So we compute, and here is the stem and leaf plot by using StatCrunch. So how you're going to read that, this 3:6, 3:8, and 3:9 mean 3:6 means it's 36, 38, 39, 47, 50, 51, 51. So these are the observations which are presented in a stem and a leaf plot. I hope you understand. Thanks for watching.